Okay, so I'm gonna go over a couple things in this video, but the main thing uh, that we're gonna go over is how to properly fit receptors and um, how to change like your column width and hit position and get your receptors to look proper with those changes. So I have one of mucus skins here, and you can see the receptors are they look right, they look correct. But if we go to our skin folder, and I'll just show you how to get to your skin folder real quick. You go to options and open current skin folder. Okay, so in your skin.ini, you're going to want to look for the receptor files, and that's going to be key image 0 and key image 0D. And you'll have 4 or 8 different files if you're using like a arrow skin, or most likely only 2 files if you're using a circle skin. So it's in mania arrows KD left 1 and KD left. So let's navigate to that. You're in your skin folder, mania arrows KD left and KD left 1. So if we make a change, like just opening up the skin.ini again, if we want to make our hit position something like 480, it's going to change the receptors, how the receptors look. And if we want to make column width larger, it's going to change how the receptors look as well. Also, if you make a change to your column width, I would just multiply that number, whatever change you made, times -2, and add that to your column start to keep it consistent. So I added 10 here, so I'm going to subtract 20 from here to keep it in the same position. That's just a little tip that I've learned. Okay, so we've made those changes. Let's go back to the game here. Press Control-Alt-Shift-S to reload the skin. And you're going to see that when we hold LNs, they are completely off. And that is what we're going to try to fix here. So we go into Mania, Arrows, KD left, and KD left 1. I'm just going to open one of these with Photoshop. Basically, the whole premise of this is when you hold LNs, it shows you where your hit position is. So we're going to use that to align the images, to stretch them properly. I'm just opening up the other thing here, the other file. Okay, so for hit position 480, it's going to have the receptors all the way at the bottom of the screen. It's not always going to be like that. If you have a different hit position, then it's probably going to be somewhere above the bottom, but just to keep it simple, I like to, well, I don't like to, but that's how it's going to be. So we open up the file. I'm going to bring it all the way down here, hold Control to keep it not snapping to certain snaps. And I'm just going to bring it to the bottom so that it's good for hit position 480. So that's the first change I'm going to make. Now we see the receptors are all the way at the top of the screen, which is what we wanted. But we can see that they're still stretched improperly. So how we're going to fix that is we're just going to stretch them in Photoshop. So you press Control-T to open up transformation menu, and you just stretch it to some arbitrary amount. I'm going to just make it 180 here. Actually, for larger ones, you're going to make it larger. For larger column widths, you're going to make it larger. So I'm going to stretch it to 240 here and see how that looks. and you're just going to be looking at how the LNs look. So pressing Control Alt Shift S again to reload the skin. We got pretty lucky. These LNs look quite accurate. You can see there is a little bit, they're a little bit off. So I'm gonna move the receptors up by, I'm gonna say like 3 pixels. And whatever change you make to one receptor, you're gonna change the other one the exact same. Control Alt Shift S, reload. And that looks completely accurate. Just showing that again. Okay, so that is pretty much it. You're just making changes to the images. Okay, sorry, I cut off the last clip a little suddenly, but there's one more thing I wanted to go over, and that is if your LNs look a little funky when you're holding them, and it's kind of hard to tell exactly where the hit position is based on that, like this. You'll see the hold body of the LN is actually going over the receptor image. That is because you have a setting enabled in the skin.ini, which is, what is it? Is it special style? No, keys under notes. So keys under notes, if it's turned to 1, it is going to have the hold body and the note image go over the receptors. And if it is turned to 0, it goes under the receptors. So for testing purposes, I like to have them go under the receptors and have keys under notes turned to 0. Just to see where the hit position is. I like to have it like that. But if it is turned to 1, you'll have the notes go over. So that is just something that I wanted to mention. Thanks for watching.